So I grew up watching shows like Sex and the City and Will and Grace. Shows with gay men and women, really, really funny writing and with queer sensibility to it, you know? There was always this one barrier though, of these shows feeling very general. And by that I mean white. Now, that's really how I found my way to YouTube and where I work right now. I never really saw myself well represented in traditional media like film and television. And that's why I watch BuzzFeed. I watch YouTube videos. With YouTube, I could choose to surround myself with whoever I wanted to watch. I could choose to watch people like Natalie Tran and Lily Zane. I could surround myself with Asian people that made me feel cool to be Asian. People that made me feel comfortable in my own skin. So suffice to say, as Hannah mentioned, the ideas of representation and diversity, it really, really informs my work. And one of the core values of the place that I work right now is making people feel less alone. And so I take that with kind of a representation spin to it. Another experience that informed my work was an argument that I had with my mother. I'll always remember telling her I wanted to go into entertainment when I was majoring in programming. Yeah, she said things like, "Why can't you just make this a hobby?" Right? I don't see any Asian people in television, so you have about 1% chance of succeeding. I'm only allowing you to do this so that you'll see how hard you'll fail. It hurt me so much, but can you blame her? She didn't watch YouTube. She watched traditional media, like film and television. I would be scared for my kid too. How could I expect my Asian child to succeed in entertainment when all you see are shows like Sex and the City and Will and Grace? Shows with all white people. This is why representation and diversity matters so, so much to me. I know that there are people in this audience right now that feel the negative effects of not being properly represented in media, and that feel discouragement from their parents because they don't fit the molds that were given to them. I want so badly for more parents like mine to believe in their children, but how could you be what you can't see? So, how do you fight for representation? A lot of people might think that just because you're not in entertainment, it means that there's nothing you can do. But there is. And I'd like to share with you a few easy and concrete ways that have worked for me to better equip yourself to fight for representation. Number one is educate yourself. When you see something wrong, I think it's important to not just know why something is wrong, but also why so many people think that it's right. And I'm not talking about, taking an ethnic studies class or a sociology class. That would be nice though. But I was more referring to the resources that we have that are free and easy to access on the internet for everybody. I'm talking about resources like Marina Shut Up, MTV Decoded, Angry Asian Man, and Everyday Feminism, to name a few. The list goes on and on. And I know that this process of educating yourself, it sounds like homework, right? It sounds a little bit overwhelming, it sounds a little bit like an extra thing. But I think it's important to know that everybody is still learning. The people that write for these resources, they didn't wake up one day suddenly knowing how to talk about all of these things. They had to work up to a point, doing research and reading articles, to be in a place where they were comfortable talking about issues of diversity and representation. We're all taught to be a little misogynist, a little racist, a little ableist, a little homophobic, a little transphobic, but it's important to acknowledge these ideas and that they exist within us in order to have a chance of fighting them. Number 2 is take a stand. When something goes wrong, it's important to call it out. The internet is a lot of things, but one of the things that I like about it is that you can use it to hold people accountable. There was this really great video going around by The Guardian that was talking about the difference between being racist, being non-racist and anti-racist. It's actually not enough just to be not racist. It's kind of like pushing against a stream. If you do nothing, you'll just be swept away by the current. And I know that it's impossible to point out every little thing. No one would have time to sleep. But I think it's important to still do our best to fight for a better world. You speak up because it's the right thing to do, because it deserves to be done. When have we ever solved a problem by not talking about it? You believing in something and the reason that is the right thing to do, that's why you should even be standing up for something in the first place. Number 3, support others. Support people that you want to see succeed. Buy merchandise, like, subscribe, share to their content. Do something to show people, consumers and media people alike, that you want more from them, that you want more people that represent who you are, that you want more diverse voices, people that better represent you. And also, to loop back to the previous point about education, I would also recommend consuming media that is not made for you. If you're not Black, I still recommend listening to The Read. It's a really good podcast. If you're not Asian, read Angry Asian Man. If you're not Native American, read Indian Country Today. If you're not Latino, read Flama. If you're not trans, watch Cat Black. If you are a man, please read Everyday Feminism. Please. Please. You know what, not even if you're a man, like if you're a dog, a cat, a fish, a stapler, everyone can stand to be better feminists, right? Everyone can stand to be better feminists. Because when you think about it, it's such a privilege to be able to listen in on these conversations that we normally would not be a part of, that you would not have access to. When you think about it, and when you start consuming media that's not for you, you get such a better idea about how your struggles and someone else's struggles could be different or similar. And it's really important to focus on your own struggles and representation issues that have to do with you only. But I think it can be kind of easy to get lost in your own struggles, and I think a lot of people forget that a lot of power can come from different groups uplifting each other, supporting each other. Use the privilege that you've been given. I know that these steps of educating yourself and taking a stand and supporting others, it sounds kind of cheesy, and also it can seem overwhelming. And it's also discouraging because we're not going to see immediate visible changes. Structures do not change overnight. But I think it's important to remember that every step that you do take, it does make a difference, because it all starts with yourself. We're never too busy or too good for participating and learning from these conversations. And I've seen firsthand the power that can come from taking these steps. Amidst all of the negative comments that I get on my videos, I always find a few people having actual constructive conversations and learning from each other. And I think it's so important to hold on to those victories. Because, like I said before, making a difference, it's it's a long process, and it takes a long time to get to. You're all here today for TEDxTrousdale, for the theme, Make Your Mark. And as I was thinking about this theme and writing this presentation, I realized that there's only so much of a difference that we can make as individuals. It's because of this idea of the support system and community building that we have niche shows like Blackish and Fresh Off the Boat. That's why we have amazing YouTubers like Natalie Trenton and Lily Singh. I feel like we should look at these victories as proof that we are slowly but surely making our mark. The reason that I'm even here is because of people supporting me, because of people that wanted to help me even though they didn't quite understand what I was doing with my life. From the film students at Berkeley that taught me how to edit, to my friends that watched my crappy videos and told me that I was funny, to my coworkers right now that support everything that I do, even though they might not directly relate to it. The only reason that I'm here, standing right here right now, is because of the love and understanding of other people. And I guess I just try my best to pay it forward, you know? In the end, uplifting others, it also uplifts yourself. It's really a win-win situation. And so I hope that will all start out today. Thank you so much.